thousands of people have mysteriously vanished in America's wilderness. Join us as we dive into the deep end of the unexplainable and try to piece together what happened. You are listening to Locations Unknown.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Locations Unknown. I'm your co-host, Joe Irado, and with me, as always, is a guy who eats candy bars with a fork and a knife, Mike Vandebogart.
Thank you, Joe, and I do not. That would be so snobby.
I never lie when I tell these, so I don't know why you're saying that.
Thank you to all of our amazing listeners for tuning in. Good news is we're not being heavily rained on this episode, so hopefully that background sound didn't annoy too many people.
I'm sure they didn't hear it until you brought it up.
Probably not. So, quickly, I'd like to thank a few Patreon shout-outs. So, Rachel Nagy, Laura Rice, Deborah Nother, Christine Bazwiski, and Yuri I spelled it wrong. Yuri Monsalve Lopez.
Monsalve Lopez. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you for supporting
especially
the show.
Christine Bazowski. Mike Bazowski.
Okay, well, apologize.
It's from Monsters, Inc.
Oh,
sorry, Pat. Yeah, your kids.
No, we watched that a lot.
Oh, you did watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just become numb to Disney movies, so I just zone them out when they're on. I've seen them so many times.
Just all of them.
Yeah.
They're running into each other.
Thank you so much for supporting the show.
Yes.
We can't do this without you. We're just in a state of transition right now, so we're in our new studio, but we're going to be moving locations within our studio here soon.
Yeah, we're in a temporary setup. So if you're watching the video, the lighting's all off. The video's not great, but it's better than nothing, right, Mike?
That's what they say.
That's what I keep telling them,
Joe
at least.
says. So, if you want to call the show, you can call 208-391-6913. You can leave a voicemail. You can send a text message. The funnier, the better. We'll put it on the voicemail episodes that we do. We just released one a few weeks ago as a special episode because we were off. So love to hear what you think of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got some other great shows on our network. Off the Trails, The Weirdos We Know, Who Runs This Park, Crime Off the Grid, and Relish. If you want to support the show, you can support us on Patreon, YouTube memberships, premium subscriptions on Apple, Spreaker. We have a store where you can buy some stuff, hats and shirts, and I keep saying we're going to add more stuff to it, but
we will. We've been moving studios. We're doing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
You're building an awesome thing that's going to get released soon. Like, a lot of big things have been happening.
Yeah, no, a lot of things are in flux. So it's exciting.
Stay tuned, especially if you run a podcast. That is all.
Yeah. I guess I will say Unknown Media Group, anyone listening out there that is a creator that does podcasting, shoot us an email if you're interested in hearing about Unknown Media Group. So we're always looking for good upcoming podcasts to join the network. So,
yep, and there'll be added perks that we can't discuss yet.
Yes, there's always perks.
Always perks.
Anything else going on in your world, Joe?
Nope.
All
right, everybody, let's gear up and get out to explore Locations Unknown. October 19th, 2019. An 86-year-old lifelong hunter is dropped off along Divide Road in Colorado's San Juan National Forest for a short morning elk hunt. He's told to follow a familiar trail down to a pickup point by 10 a.m. Around 9 a.m., a single gunshot echoes through the timber. By 10, he's gone. Search teams, helicopters, canine units, and grid crews comb the aspen meadows and dense drainages, but find nothing. No tracks, no gear, no trace. Join us this week as we begin the first of our miniseries, The Lost Hunters of Colorado, with the baffling disappearance of Alvie Webb.
Almost got it there.
Almost got it.
You started strong and then faded.
I know, right? I read it, and the timing's always weird when you do it live, and we don't edit on this show, so.
No, so that was live. But before you get going, I wanted to just say that this case feels very similar to a case we did many moons ago on Tom Messick, the hunter that went missing in New York. That was episode 12.
Ooh, way back in time.
Yeah.
Way back.
Way back in time.
So we'll talk about the area a little bit. So to understand how Alvie Webb vanished, you first have to understand the shape of the country he walked in, or the country he walked into. The San Juan National Forest sprawls across more than 1.8 million acres of southwestern Colorado. Steep, jagged, and vertical in a way that most people from the lower elevations of the central United States have never experienced. Alvie didn't disappear into the vastness of the San Juans at random. He vanished from a very specific pocket of it by roads and trails his family already knew. The main artery into the country is, I keep saying country, is it county?
Yeah. I mean, country and country.
Yeah, country road.
Area. So you could say, yeah.
Is the Divide Road so the main artery is Divide Road, Forest Road 564.
We'll cut all that out.
Yeah, no, we won't. A rugged, unpaved forest road that rides the high ridge lines across the section of the Dolores Ranger District, often exceeding 9,000 feet of elevation for most of its length. It's a kind of road that's passable in a pickup in dry weather and a serious problem the moment conditions deteriorate.
Sounds like the road Ron Daly was driving on.
Absolutely.
A few episodes ago.
Yeah, branching off the Divide Road is a smaller spur called Road 564A. It's right off of 564. This is where the Webb family set up camp, the same spot they'd used for 5 consecutive years of elk hunting. From the camp at the end of 564A, the family drove Alvie out and walked him approximately 100 yards down an unnamed foot trail that drops through timber and meadow country before eventually connecting with Roaring Fork Road, roughly 2 miles below. So Roaring Fork Road, it is itself an unpaved 8.75 mile Forest Service road. So picture the disappearance zone as something close to a tilted corridor, which is the spur road, a camp sitting above, the Roaring Fork Road that runs below, and an unnamed trail connects them over roughly 2 miles of descending terrain. So it's kind of like a little interspersed roadway.
Yeah.
They all connect.
Yeah.
The plan was for Alvie to hunt the upper portion of that corridor near the meadow he knew, and then he'd be picked up at the bottom of the hill on the road around 10 o'clock. On a map, it's not a huge box. On the ground, it's a very different story. So we'll talk a little bit about the terrain. Sheriff Nolan repeatedly described the search area as mostly aspen meadows. To a listener, a meadow sounds like a flat, opening clearing, the kind of place where a man in a bright orange vest should be visible from hundreds of yards away, and in places, it is. Aspen groves in the San Juans can feel deceptively spacious, especially in the mid to late October when the leaves are down or falling and sightlines begin between trunks open up. That's exactly why Nolan felt confident putting searchers 30 feet apart in grid formation. In that kind of country, you shouldn't be able to miss a person. But the San Juans at 9,500 feet are not a park. The quote-unquote meadows are often sloping clearings choked with tall grass, fallen deadwoods, and hidden depressions, bordered by dense stands of spruce and fir timber. The forest floor is layered with decades of pine needles, leaf litter, and organic duff. And critically, the area is cut by steep timbered side drainages leading down towards Roaring Fork Creek, the kind of terrain features that can swallow a person in a matter of minutes once they step off the main path. So a hunter stepping from one of those open aspen meadows into the darker timber over a bench or down into a shallow drainage could become invisible remarkably fast, even while remaining relatively close to the trail. The ground in this part of the San Juans is three-dimensional in a way that flat country people don't always appreciate.
Like us.
Yeah, like us, like the
people.
flat country in Wisconsin. A body below a small lip of terrain in a fold of the slope, under deadfall, or behind dense brush, or in a shadowed pocket of spruce could be invisible from 30 feet, which is exactly the grid spacing the searchers used. The nearby trail descriptions paint a consistent picture of the character of the country. The rough canyon trail, which starts from Roaring Fork Road, just 1.3 miles from its junction with Highway 145, is described as seldom used in recent years, with faint tread that can be followed if one is careful. Language like that tells you how quickly maintained trails in this area degrade into nothing, let alone the unmanned connector path Alvie was walking. The Onyx Trail descriptions from the Rico mentions single track riddled with roots, rocks, and boulders, with constant climbing through terrain that shifts between aspen groves, scrub oak, ponderosa pine, and steep erosion features. So a little bit about the elevation and altitude. As we said, the hunting area sits at roughly 9,500 feet above sea level. That number matters more than almost anything else in this case. Alvie Webb came from Muldrow, Oklahoma, elevation roughly 500 feet. In the span of a couple days, he was transported to a landscape sitting nearly 2 vertical miles above his hometown. Colorado's own hunter's education materials are blunt about this danger. Hunting in Colorado commonly occurs between 5,000 and 12,000 feet, where oxygen levels can drop between 17 and 13%, compared to roughly 20% or 20.9% at sea level. Altitude sickness can first appear at just 5,000 feet, and its effects only worsen as elevation increases. Colorado Parks and Wildlife advises that hunters from lower altitudes should spend a few days at higher elevation just before the hunting season to allow your body to acclimate, and warns that altitude affects health, stamina, and the ability to move efficiently. So now we got the weather. So October 2019 was not a normal October in Colorado. The National Weather Service described this month across southern Colorado as dominated by several unseasonably strong and cold systems, bringing early season record cold temperatures as well as the season's first snowfall for many locals. The Colorado Climate Center confirmed it was the 7th coldest October in 131 years of record, which with the mean temperature running at 6 degrees below the 1981 to 2010 normal.
It's pretty cold.
Pretty cold. The NWS Grand Junction office noted that the strong cold front pushed across western Colorado at the end of the first week, producing up to 8 inches of mountain snow, and the remainder of October remained fairly active with several early season winter storms moving through the region. So he was at an altitude he's not acclimated to. He's got weather kind of against him.
He's, elderly.
He is
late 80s.
He is older, so any of those effects worsening, are not going to be as easy on his body. So
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Alvie.
Okay, so his name was obviously Alvie Webb. We don't have an exact date of birth, but based on the fact that he was 86, with some news sources saying he was 87, his date of birth is roughly 1932 to 1933. He went missing October 19th of 2019. He was a male. He was 5'10", 140 pounds. He had gray-white hair. We don't know eye color. Other descriptions described in a lot of the missing persons materials. So he was an elderly white male. Family and officials noted he had some trouble walking long distances due to his age. Sheriff Nolan stated he did not believe Webb really could have walked very far given his physical condition and altitude. So, but his family stressed that he had no formal disabilities and was described as very mentally alert. So while he physically had some maybe challenges, with mobility, he was very mentally there. So
okay,
that was not anything that they suspected in this case. Clothing gear he was last seen in, so bright orange hat, orange hunter's vest, heavy camouflaged hunting jacket, vest worn over the jacket. He had a hunting rifle. Obviously, he's hunting elk. He had a few food bars, water. He had a cell phone, but it was turned off or the battery was dead. It was, according to reports, last used on Friday, October 18th of 2019, the day before he vanished.
Just keep going.
Well, we can pause. You can go.
No, just keep going.
Well, I'm going to cut all this out anyway. So.
No, you won't.
Locations unknown after dark.
There we go. Locations unknown after dark. Fantastic.
So he did not have any overnight gear, no shelter. He had no fire starting equipment, no sleeping bag, no pack. And this is because this was intended to be a short morning hunt just for a few hours. So, going in, Joe's showing pictures of Alvie. I mean, he looks, growing up hunting when I was a kid, we had some elderly gentlemen that would come with us.
He looks just like all of them.
Yeah, just like, all the guys would come hunting. So, but it's unfortunate, you probably should carry gear, overnight gear and stuff like that, hunting in this environment.
Or even just emergency blanket, stuff like that.
Something. But, I mean, they've done this for many years and nothing happens, so you don't think to bring that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personality-wise, so Alvie was a former school teacher and principal. He was a man of education, discipline, routine, and community standing. Friends all called him just a great man in the days after his disappearance. And people consistently, this is family and friends who knew him and interacted with him a lot, described him as mentally sharp, very alert, and fully independent despite his age. And the fact that his family trusted him to hunt alone at 86 really speaks to the confidence and the judgment they had in him because,
Sure.
No disrespect to anyone of his age, but if someone is starting to suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, you're not going to let him sit alone out in the woods with a firearm.
Yeah.
So that just goes back to the fact that he was very sharp for his age, and I've known family members that
86 is getting up there.
it's getting up there, and some family members in the past were not all with it, but then others, I had a family member live to 101 and she was with it almost until the end, which is really impressive.
That is super impressive.
Because I know people our age that aren't with it.
Yeah.
So,
I think I know those same people.
yeah. So he was a kind person, like I said. People called him Papa. And he was kind of the patriarch of the annual hunting tradition. So he was the head honcho of the hunting party, which is pretty typical. Guys like him with, probably his sons and their grandsons. And
He's got every type of overall you can imagine. He's wearing like different ones. He literally is like a stereotypical pawpaw
Yeah,
that's
he's
hunting elk in the mountains.
yeah, he's an overall. Yeah. He likes them.
It's a nice picture with him and I'm guessing like a granddaughter or something.
Yeah. No, so
He looks like a fun guy.
Yeah, he seems really cool, and everyone would probably be lucky to have a grandpa like that. Mm-hmm. Medical issues, like I said, no cognitive disabilities, dementia, impairments were publicly disclosed. The only physical note was age-related difficulty walking long distances and a lack of altitude acclimation. So, like Joe had mentioned earlier, his body's used to 500 feet of elevation in Oklahoma, and now all of a sudden he's at 9,500 feet. Mm-hmm. I remember going skiing out in Colorado, and the first 2 days we were there, I was dying.
It can just make you feel like crap.
Yeah, you don't feel right, but you get used to it.
You do get used to it.
Occupation, hobby, like I said, retired school teacher and principal. He was a lifelong hunter, specifically hunting elk in Colorado, in the high country. And like I said, this was an annual family tradition, so not just a casual one-off hunting trip. Experience in the wilderness, very significant. He was, like I said, an experienced lifelong hunter who had been making annual trips from Oklahoma to Colorado mountains for years. He was very comfortable in the backcountry camping, rifle hunting, and operating in remote forest terrain. He was, though, not described as a survivalist, mountaineer, or backcountry trucker. His hunting style, obviously by this age, was, sitting there and waiting for the animals to be driven to him. But still, he's been up there a lot, and he knows, what it's like, what the experience is. So pretty experienced. And experience in this location is very high. Him and his family have hunted in the same area for 5 consecutive years at this point. They've camped at the same spot along Road 564A. And the morning he disappeared, he was positioned near a meadow where he had hunted the year before. So by every account, very familiar with this location. It was not unknown country to him. So he knew everything, about the area. So we'll jump right into timeline. So we'll start Friday, October 18th of 2019. So this would be the day before. So this would actually be the last time he used his cell phone. And at some point after that final use, the phone either powered off or its battery died. Investigators would later attempt to repeatedly ping the device for a signal, but never received one. It's now Saturday, October 29th or October 19th of 2019. So this would be the day he disappeared. So it's morning. It's Saturday, October 19th. The hunting party drove Alvie out from camp and walked him approximately 100 yards down an unnamed trail at the end of road 564A. So they left him alone to hunt near a meadow where he, like I said, hunted successfully the previous year. A familiar, comfortable spot. And, like Joe said, this unnamed trail eventually connects with Roaring Fork Road, which was Forest Road 435, about 2 miles downhill. So before leaving, the family made a clear plan. So as a family member later recounted to investigators, they told him, now we'll pick you up at the bottom of the hill on the road around 10 o'clock. And, like I said, Alvie was dressed in high visibility clothing that most hunters wear if you're hunting deer, especially in Wisconsin. You wear just complete blaze orange.
Yeah.
And that
you
is,
don't want to get shot.
You don't want to get shot by someone else. So he was in bright orange hat, bright orange hunter's vest, with a camouflage jacket under it. He had a little bit of food, but really no survival gear at all. So 9 a.m. rolls around. Members of the hunting party heard a single gunshot come from the general direction where Alvie was, where he was left. And at the time, no one thought much of it. It was the middle of elk season in an actively hunted forest, and investigators would later check the area but find no evidence of a shot animal. They didn't find blood, carcass, and no signs of a kill. And it's very, if you ever have gone deer hunting in the Midwest or wherever you would deer hunt, like opening day, it's not uncommon to hear gunshots off in the distance. Especially if you're hunting in an area that's more populated. So I can imagine they heard that gunshot and they didn't think anything of it. Maybe even they thought maybe Alvie got something.
That was going to be my first assumption, is he shot at something.
And I will say too, when you're out in kind of the wilderness like that and you hear a gunshot, it might be deceivingly farther away than you think. Mm-hmm. Just because, especially in a mountainous environment, it could be echoing off things. So they may have thought it was closer when in fact it was probably someone much farther away. But interesting nonetheless. It's now 10 a.m., same day. Alvie's son drove to the agreed upon pickup spot at the bottom of the hill, but Alvie was not there. The son waited, assuming his father had simply run behind. But as a family member later put it, they quoted, "Pawpaw didn't show up." So really, he was not out there very long. They dropped him off, early in the morning. And by 10 a.m., he was supposed to be picked up. So basically just an early morning hunt, 3-4 hours. So the hunting party almost immediately began searching the area, the trail, the meadow, the surrounding timber. They found no sign of him, no belongings, no dropped gear, no tracks leading to anywhere obvious. They checked back at the pickup location. They checked farther up the trail. There was absolutely no trace of him anywhere. And remember, it was noted that he had mobility issues, so he actually needed to be helped a little bit when he was moving around out there, which makes it even more strange that they didn't find anything.
Yeah,
like no gear, nothing.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. So it's now 4 p.m. So they've spent, all day searching for him. Didn't find anything. Daylight is, starting to fade. The family contacts the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office to report him missing. And the emergency manager, Mike Pasquin, confirmed the overdue hunter report. By 5 p.m., very quickly later, not an hour later, a larger coordinated search mission was launched under the direction of Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nolan, which Joe quoted earlier in the location profile. It's now Sunday, October 20th of 2019, and they actually got a dusting of snow overnight, and we had a lot of people already ending up in the field. So on the ground, there was teams from the county search and rescue, county sheriff's deputies, and a canine search and rescue unit that fanned out through the timber and aspen meadows surrounding Road 564A. And there was a growing contingent of Alvie's family and friends that were joining the effort. So pretty quick mobilization of, people searching for him. They searched almost immediately the day before, and then you've got a growing presence of professional search teams now in the woods. And, aerial assets were brought in very quick. So a Colorado National Guard Black Hawk helicopter worked the area from above. It was joined by a Flight for Life Colorado helicopter and a Mesa Verde Civil Air Patrol fixed-wing aircraft, and they were all scanning the heavily wooded terrain for any flash of Alvie's bright orange gear. All right, so tell us what we're looking at, Joe.
I'm not sharing yet.
Okay.
No, it's so hard to find this, and I think I found it. I did find Divide Road in Dolores, Colorado, so I'm going to see if that will pull up.
For those watching, I apologize. I created a really cool map that had all of this easily clickable, and I couldn't get it to work.
That's okay. All right, here we go. We're on Divide Road, so that's 564.
Okay.
And I just found this one, so I'll have to try and find this spur that they're talking about.
564A.
Yeah. I think it said it was... I'm just going to have to keep looking. So you can keep going, and I'll chime in once I narrow it down.
So obviously, like I said, it's Sunday, October 20th. We've got...
I mean, look at how remote it is, though.
Yeah.
You are away from everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is the part of Colorado I've actually never been to, the southwest area. But it's remote. If you zoom out, I'm trying to think of...
I think I saw Telluride somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, here's Telluride up here.
Yeah.
Dunton. This is where I was actually in Dunton.
So you have been over here.
I have been over. I didn't know that's where Dunton was. Yeah, I went there to
that's
retreat.
Wow, there's nothing
Dunton
there.
Springs, yeah, Dunton Hot Springs.
Dunton Hot Springs.
I stayed right in this cabin.
Lucky you.
Oh yeah, I'll pull up some pictures and show you as we're going on. But it was, I highly recommend it. It was amazing. Well,
this looks like a cool part of Colorado that I need to get to.
I rented a car to get here.
Yeah,
I destroyed the.
Where did you come from?
I forget where we flew in.
I mean, if you scroll out, there's.
It might have been like Telluride. Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Looking over by Cassie to see if she heard me and could tell me she was there with me.
Well, you got there somehow. I rented a car.
I rented a car, and it was so much fun off-roading in the little rental. Just
you got your deposit back?
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't blow a tire or anything.
How long ago was this?
2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, long enough. They can't come back at you. That's the guy.
I'll make headlines. It'll be worth it.
So where was I? Sunday. So yeah, we've got a lot of professional search teams on the ground. We've got aerial assets in the air, 2 helicopters, and a fixed wing aircraft. So quite a few people are now searching for him. After dark, we had drones equipped with infrared cameras launched. They were hoping to detect maybe a heat signature anywhere in the search grid. Unfortunately, there were no heat signatures consistent with a person found. And, at this time, authorities continued attempting to ping his cell phone throughout the day, but like we said, the phone either was turned off or ran out of battery. Back in eastern Oklahoma, family members and friends began circulating desperate pleas on Facebook and social media. One family friend wrote that she emailed the Today Show, NBC, ABC, CBS Nightly News in an attempt to bring national attention to the search. It's now Monday, October 21st of 2019. So we've now got approximately 25 searchers in the area doing a formal, grid pattern walking shoulder to shoulder with personnel spaced roughly 30 feet apart. And they were doing this through the aspen meadows where he was last seen. Between 9 to 9:30 a.m., one of the searchers reported hearing what sounded like a muffled gunshot. Very interesting. Teams converged on the general direction of the sound, but found only signs consistent with other hunting activity and animals being taken elsewhere in the forest. So no evidence connected the sound to him. So, and they didn't find any shell casings, blood, or again, a trace of him. So from Tuesday to Wednesday, this would be October 22nd to 23rd of 2019, the The ground and aerial operations continued as, unfortunately, a strong winter storm pushed into southwestern Colorado. So snow was falling across the search area. Overnight temperatures plunged into the low 20s. So, for an 86-year-old guy, just in a camo jacket and a vest, carrying only a few bars, food bars and water, survival at this point in these conditions without shelter would be near to impossible. And every night the search went on, I think the realization set in that not finding him like right now might turn this into a recovery effort, sadly. Because even if you have the survival gear for conditions like that up at elevation, that's some tough nights.
Oh yeah, that'd be really tough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So searchers, continued. They cross-covered ground that they'd already walked. That's, common. We've done many cases where searchers might have searched in a specific area 3-4 times, and then 2 or 3 years later, remains are found in that spot that was searched 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or they'll find an item of clothing or a boot or something like that. So a lot of times searchers will research areas over and over again. And
well, that's when they always do training missions in areas where they know people have gone missing.
yeah, and I mean, you think we've probably been in areas like this where it's in spots really thick.
Yeah.
And you could miss something easily the first, second, or even maybe the third time walking by it. So not uncommon. And like I said, they were rechecking areas in a systematic effort to ensure nothing had been missed. The terrain, according to searchers, was thoroughly combed. The open meadows, the timber edges, the drainages, the steeper cuts, nothing was found. They didn't even find a single boot print. They didn't find a piece of gear, not even a scrap of orange fabric. I mean, they literally found nothing, like he wasn't there, which is crazy. That's why I said this is a very similar case to Tom Messick.
All right, here's Roaring Forks Road and Roaring Forks Creek. So we've narrowed down to the area.
You sharing it?
Yes, I am sharing it.
Awesome.
So it's like this section.
Okay.
As I zoom way out, like look at how in the middle of nowhere that is.
Yeah, that is.
They were down here because they said it was where Roaring Forks Road meets an unnamed road. And I think
their camp was kind of up top and it tilted down.
Yeah, so it's got to be in this window right here.
That's remote.
That's so remote. Let's see if there's any.
Nothing. There's not even a street view.
No one took any photos.
Yeah.
That at least can go to Google. Yeah, there's nothing. This is actually the most I've ever seen of. Yeah, look at it. It's only out to the freeway. Like no one's ever taken a picture on the Divide Road or Roaring Creeks that has gotten to Google yet. So if anyone's in the area and wants to contribute, you'd be the first.
I always thought it would be really cool. Have you ever seen one of those Google Trail backpacks?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Well, if I didn't have to work for a living, it would be cool to just hike around.
Carry a Google backpack?
Yeah, hike around and just photograph all these places that are obviously people go here, but relatively little traffic probably comes through a lot of these places.
I would tell you that's the case because there's nothing.
Nothing. It would be really cool to be able to like catalog and I don't know.
I'll go to the closest one right when the road turns off. This is as close as you get.
And I mean, look at how thick it gets not too far off the road.
Let's see.
And that's
right down here. This is the only shot you get.
Yeah.
And it just goes up there.
Yeah. It's remote, thick country.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I would love to go hiking there. I say that every episode.
Yep.
Just got to do it one day.
Just got to go hiking everywhere.
Yeah, right. So, like I said, they have combed some of these areas multiple times, and they're not even finding a single boot print, gear, nothing. Like his rifle, he has limited mobility. If he's, if he's probably in a situation where he, is trying to walk out, he's probably not going to try and carry that rifle with him. That's going to be a hindrance.
Yeah, potentially.
So, they didn't even find a rifle. And rifles, if he dropped a rifle, that's not going to just wash away, or an animal's not going to take that. It's going to be there. And with how remote this is, I doubt anyone else is hiking through there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So sadly, October 24th.
Especially if they're hunters, they probably like that remoteness of that area.
Yeah.
So no one's traipsing through.
Yeah, I mean, it's so vast. That's why you'd go hunting in an area like this. It's so vast that you're likely to not see anyone else.
So when we were going to Dunton Springs, there were a bunch of hunters along the road we went, and they literally just pull off and park.
Yeah.
And then they wander off into there, and that's all they'll do.
Yeah.
So along the whole road. But I was on like a main vein going to a tourist spot.
You were on like a paved highway?
Not in the mountain. No, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was 4-wheel driving, and I was not in a 4-wheel drive
You're in like
car.
a Toyota Camry.
100%. Yeah, I ruined it. And I was like rally racing through there. And
That's like,
my wife was like freaking out. I was just like, I was bombing through there. Like,
that's like my journey on the Alaska highway in the Nissan Altima that we had. Bottomed out a few times.
Oh yeah, this thing is just bound, like it's got no shock system left after me.
I took our car through the car wash though before we returned it.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't do none of that.
So October
here's our cabin. Oh geez, I'll go back.
Looks very rustic.
Oh, so it's an old mining town.
Yeah,
and like old bank robbers would hide out there.
Cool.
So like it's all the cabin, they like restored everything, but like it is gorgeous. But this is like only a few miles away, roughly. I don't know if you can. So everyone stays in different cabins.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
It's gorgeous.
Can you imagine 100 years ago?
Yeah, look at the hot springs.
Yeah.
It's like a bougie outdoor place. Jewel was in the room we were in just before us.
Oh, not with you?
Not with us, no. No, and like I guess the Kardashians were there a couple weeks ago and they rented the whole place out. So it's like a very bougie place. We went with a professional group that we are with.
I was going to say, why did you get invited?
Because I'm bougie like that, Mike. But there's like the hiking was incredible. We got to make our own tea from like the stuff we found.
Wow.
So yeah, go to Dunton Hot Springs. But here's a good mountaintop meadow we hiked to and had a picnic.
So I envision this being similar to what Alvie was sitting and hunting. Not probably out in the open like that, because when you're hunting, you don't want the animals
he was like in a blind.
You.
Yeah,
or like in a location that's maybe a little more.
Yeah, but when I zoom out, see how there's like the clearing meadows. Yeah. This is a Ridge Shop Reservoir, so they would have been like off these main chutes. Yeah, and there are openings. Like, look at this. Yeah, there's some significant openings, which. I mean, that makes it more mysterious. Oh, yeah. Because it's dense in some spots, but like I've been through this forest now. I can actually say, like, yeah, there's some very dense areas, but there's also very open areas. So.
Yeah. So October 24th, 2019, sadly, the official search was suspended. So after 5 intensive days of searching, the official operation was formally suspended. Sheriff Nolan publicly expressed deep frustration at the outcome. He was quoted as saying, "We looked all over and searched a large area 30 yards at a time, but there was no sign of him, no clues. We had people 30 feet apart, and that's mostly aspen meadows in that area. We crisscrossed, we cross-covered areas we had already been over. We should have found him, but there was no sign of him anywhere. It's frustrating. Nobody's finding anything." The sheriff also emphasized that given his age, his limited mobility, and the fact that he hadn't had time to acclimate to the 9,500-foot altitude, he should not have been able to walk very far from where he was dropped off, making the total absence of any physical evidence deeply puzzling. So this is quotes directly from the sheriff that was running the search operation. He found it incredibly strange and odd that absolutely nothing was found from a gentleman who, in all rights, would not be able to walk more than 30 feet on his own.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, the sheriff's office stated that the official search would resume immediately if any new clues surfaced, and anyone with information was directed to call their office at 970-565-8452 or their dispatch at 970-565-8454. It's now late October, early November of 2019. At this time, the family continued searching. So after the official search was called off, his family and friends stayed behind in the San Juan National Forest, continuing the search on their own. They were walking ridge lines, checking drainages, and spoke with other hunters in the area. But sadly, again, they didn't find a single piece of evidence that he was really even there. By November 5th, nearly 20 days after the disappearance, there were advocacy groups that were starting to circulate his photo and case details across social media. Unfortunately, heavy snow and falling temperatures across the high country were rapidly closing the window for any further search efforts. And, by the end of 2019, his disappearance was noted alongside that of another elderly man, Ramon Brown, who was 86, who'd also gone missing in the same area in July of 2019 and was likewise never found. And it's puzzling, winter 2019 into spring of 2020, as winter buried the San Juans under heavy snowfall, a ground searching effectively ceased. There's no way you can search in that. And the Divide Road, Roaring Fork area becomes largely inaccessible during the winter months. And, the case remained open with the county sheriff's office, but there were, no significant developments during this time. In August 2020, people started looking at the case again, and just the lack of physical evidence. So it's kind of starting to pick up steam with the online community. They did this grid search, 30 feet apart, and they found nothing. So very interesting case. It keeps bubbling up every couple of years. 2021, it got some broader coverage. People started covering it on, TV shows, and forums like Web Sleuths were trying to solve it or figure out what happened. And then it really gained steam in September of 2025. And so like Joe said in the beginning, we're going to do a little mini series here of hunters that have gone missing in Colorado. And our next episode will actually be on a pair of elk hunters that went missing, Andrew Porter and Ian Stasko, in September of 2025. So not very long ago. I won't say anything more about the case to kind of leave it a little mysterious.
There you go. Good job.
But the case of Alvie kind of came up again when these two hunters went missing, because this is something that has happened multiple times, and it came up again this spring. So our final episode of the miniseries is going to talk about a very recent case of a hunter. His name was Caden Seitz. And this case is so recent. Joe and I made the decision, we're going to let it breathe for a few weeks and let the family get closure, and before we start talking about it. So we'll talk about that case, and probably...
Yeah, it was brought to us because he was still missing, and we were going to cover it, and then...
Yeah.
It's
still... this case,
active.
That case is very strange, in my opinion. I don't want to get into theories because, sadly, I was texting with Joe the other day, and I wanted to try and we wanted to cover a case that was ongoing, and the Caden Seitz case has been ongoing for a few weeks now. Mm-hmm. And as I was texting Joe, they found his remains. And so we decided we're not going to cover it right now. We're going to wait at least a month. So we'll close out the series on missing hunters with Caden in a month or so. But his case is very interesting. Each one of these cases has a different aspect. So the Alvie case we just talked about is very mysterious. His family dropped him off. He's elderly. He can't move, really. He was only at that spot for maybe 4 hours and then vanished off the face of the earth. They found nothing. And it's a very remote area. There's not a lot of other people there. Mm-hmm. What happened? So, let's get into theories. So before I jump into theories, let's just recap kind of, I would say the odds were stacked against Alvie in a traditional sense of conditions and, the altitude, 9,500 feet. He'd only been there for a few days. He could have been suffering from altitude sickness, maybe at his age, just general age related, maybe his body doesn't process oxygen as good as someone that's 20, So that could create, a problem with altitude sickness even quicker. Like we've said throughout the episode, he had limited mobility. He's not going to be able to walk very far. And especially if he's at high elevation, it's, having an effect on him that reduces the distance he can walk even further. And Joe and I, from being in high altitude areas as someone in my 20s, when you first get there, it's hard. And it's, even when you're young and fit, it's not easy to move around until you get acclimated to it. So, his cell phone died. So searchers had no way of pinging his phone to see maybe where his last known location was. It was a simple time limited plan. He was 100 yards away from their camp and he was only there for a few hours and, they didn't find anything. Terrain, the terrain, like Joe mentioned in his, location profile, it can be deceiving. It's not flat. Little lips and, things can hide a body or something from searchers. Mm-hmm. And the weather was kind of turning hostile. So they really needed to find him the day he went missing because he had no survival gear. And
yeah, absolutely.
The longer he's in that environment, the worse the outcome is going to be. So what are the main theories? And when I say main theories, you heard the quote from the sheriff's office. They're baffled by this case.
Yes, absolutely.
They do not know what happened and why their team could not find.
And they're familiar with the area.
They've probably done many searches up there, and they know his situation. He's elderly, can't move. He should be there. Yeah. They should have found him, even if he had. The most likely theory that a lot of people talked about is medical event and exposure.
Yeah.
So he could have suffered a heart attack, a stroke. He goes down in a concealed spot, deadfall, depression, timber pocket, and then dies from exposure as the temperatures drop. Okay, that is a good theory, but you got to think at his age and his mobility, there's a limited radius of where he could have gone. And you would think searchers would be all over those.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
not running.
He's not running. Even if he has some kind of event where he's experiencing hypothermia and is starting to kind of make irrational decisions, he still physically just can't move that well.
Yes. So his body is limited.
Yeah. So, anything that could have hidden a body, I feel like within a radius of 50 feet from where he was sitting was heavily searched. Mm-hmm. I mean, heavily searched. And that kind of falls into the second theory that he fell into concealed terrain. So, this could be he steps off trail, possibly to reposition or follow game and falls into a steep drainage or over a small ledge or into a thick deadfall. Then injury prevents movement and he becomes hidden and the searchers didn't find him. So that's a good theory. Mm-hmm. But again, I feel like the mobility problem is they're going to search any of those areas that are close by very, very thoroughly. Mm-hmm. The next one is he just gets turned around up there and, it's altitude driven, hypoxia. Mm-hmm. It causes confusion, poor judgment. He moves in the wrong direction, maybe going downhill into thicker timber.
There's a word for that. What is it?
I'm not saying it.
Disorientation.
There you go. I'm afraid to say it now.
You developed a speaking fear of saying.
I have.
If we ever get really famous and do a show, people are going to make you say it live on stage.
I've been
and I'm going to reinforce that.
I've been shamed by so many people. I just won't say the word.
It is a weird platform because you and me are still you and me, but there's tens of thousands of people that listen to this. So you've had hundreds of people shaming you that you've never met before.
We've been doing this for almost 9 years now. And
there's thousands of people that hate you for saying that you've never met.
We've received more hate, which is fine. We've received more hate than probably a normal person would in their entire life in the span of 9 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've got a thick skin. So Other things in life bug me less now since we started doing this.
Yeah. It's like you let it roll off your back.
Yeah. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Some people like us and some people hate us with a passion.
I know, right?
My advice is just don't listen. It's free.
Just no one. Yeah, just nobody. Just everyone stopped.
No.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
Okay, so we've covered the likely theories. So next theory is some kind of gunshot related incident. So maybe accidental or self-inflicted. Now this one really doesn't, make sense to me. So if it was self-inflicted or accidental, they'd find his body.
Yes.
Like if he was sitting at the spot and was cleaning his gun and shot himself, he would be there.
Yep.
They did hear that gunshot at 9 a.m.
That's where I think there's a gunshot related to whatever happened.
Yeah.
I just don't necessarily know what it is.
No, and being that it's hunting season out there, you're in the mountains, it could be echoing. It's really not at all unlikely that.
See, and you know what? Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Because I'm just thinking going through Dunton when it was hunting season, they made us wear blaze orange when we went on our hike because they're hey, people are hunting here. Maybe it is more heavily packed than
maybe
I would imagine. Maybe there's not a ton of people out there, but if you've got 4 hunting parties in the area, that's where a gunshot would ring through.
It's just a good precaution.
Yeah.
When you're out there.
I'm just trying to think of okay, was that his gunshot? Because initially I'm well, of course it was him. Because if no one else in their group and they're the only ones out there, I'm well, maybe there was other people out there.
Was it a signal gunshot? Was he signaling to his family that something happened? Was he shooting at an animal?
Yeah, I think I can't definitively say it was his. When initially when you said that, I'm oh, that was him. Well, I wonder what that means. And now I'm okay, I think it's a high likelihood it was, but you can't guarantee it.
But the thing is, they never found any evidence of an animal being shot, or
could have missed.
I'll say this too. Now, when I've gone in the past, grouse hunting in northern Wisconsin, we've been in some thick, openings where there's tall grass that's kind of been patted down.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll see a shotgun shell sitting there. And if a shell casing has been recently discharged, it's going to land on top of the foliage and is relatively easy to see. We'll see all the time, somebody must have been here.
Yeah.
So the fact that searchers didn't find any kind of evidence of, shell casings or anything like that makes you wonder, how close was that gunshot that they heard.
All right.
So
I got some theories I'm brewing in my head.
Okay. So the next one is accidental shooting by another hunter. So a cover up. So maybe another hunter mistakenly shoots him and conceals the body to avoid consequences. This would explain a lack of evidence, but this requires
highly unlikely.
Yeah, it requires a difficult, very risky cover up they were a pro at it because they left
accidentally shooting someone wearing blaze orange and sitting still.
And doing it within 3 or 4 hours, getting his body out of there, you'd have to have a vehicle and that would leave evidence.
There he is in his hunting stuff.
Yeah. You don't accidentally shoot him.
Yeah. Serious. No, I agree. And down a road that they had to walk him down where there's only one way in where they probably would have seen a car.
Or even if someone was out there in a 4-wheeler, investigators would have seen those tracks in a trained investigator is going to see, that those tracks leading out of there and there would be blood.
Yep.
So, but somehow a pro managed to shoot him, conceal it, clean the area up, and get him out of there in 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. And he didn't put up a fight or shoot back or anything. It was one shot and they got him. And
yeah, I think that's not it.
So, there's another theory. So post-mortem scavenging. So this is kind of, after something caused his death, could have been anything, then wildlife scatters the remains and gear. Snow, time, terrain, further obscure evidence explaining why nothing has been found, so many years later. Okay, they didn't find any evidence of that. And a hunting rifle is not going to be scavenged by an animal. That they'll leave that there. So I don't think that's very plausible. We've got foul play, so non-hunting related incident. So an encounter with another person leads to harm and concealment. Again, no evidence supported this. But it remains a theoretical possibility just due to the lack of any other evidence.
Yeah, you almost have to consider it because they have nothing else to go on.
Yeah, and then we'll round it out with the completely unlikely, so intentional disappearance.
No.
Yeah, he's 86.
Yep. Move on.
Yeah, abduction. So someone abducted him.
I'd say that's more plausible than intentional, almost.
Yeah, and then we've got the missing 411 unexplained phenomena. So, people are speculating, Bigfoot or dimensional time shift.
Honestly, 10%. Throw it in. Why not? Abduction or any missing 411 stuff, throw it in the 10% category.
Okay, so you've heard the case. You've heard the theories. What's your theory?
All right, I'm gonna take some liberties.
Oh, you are?
I think he shot at an animal.
Yep.
Thought he hit it, and went looking for it.
Okay.
And if it was an elk, I mean, you're a hunter. What do animals do when they're hit?
They don't stay put.
They go to ground, usually downhill towards a river per se. So if he's following this thing towards a river, thinking he hit it, looking for evidence, maybe following the trail in.
Yeah.
Because he's a hunter. Even if think about okay, let's pretend he wasn't of sound mind.
Yeah.
Your natural instinct, if you've been a hunter your whole life, is to go look for the thing you shot.
Yeah.
It's a big conservation thing. You don't just shoot animals and let them die. You're going to go find it. So if he thinks he hit it and he's sharp enough to think he hit it, and he's fairly mobile, I think he walked off looking for an animal and just simply got lost, fell maybe, stepped into one of those depressions or reservoir where it didn't seem like that, and then either injured himself to the point where he wasn't able to get out and they just didn't find him.
I mean, I think actually I like that theory. I would say I wouldn't call him mostly mobile. You got to think the gunshot was heard at 9 a.m. They went to pick him up at 10 a.m. So there's an hour for him to move to find that animal.
Yeah, I'm not saying he went far.
No, I'm just trying to think how far could he have gone in an hour?
Well, that's where I'm thinking if an animal runs downhill.
So downhill would be easier.
Downhill's easier. So
he's
if
got some adrenaline going. He's like, I got to find this.
Yeah. Motivation, gravity on his side, maybe a little mentally impaired from the altitude.
Yeah.
And cold altitude, you can make poor decisions.
Maybe he's a little dehydrated. He didn't really have a lot of food or water with him.
So I really think if it was his gunshot, it's okay, they didn't see that he hit an animal. Yeah. They didn't find the casing. So that's the thing too. The casing would have been around the spot unless he picks up his casings.
Yeah.
There's hunters that do that.
Oh yeah.
So they don't do you pick up your casings so you're not leaving it littered.
Yeah.
And then he just went searching for it, and they're not going to find a bullet.
No.
That's like a 1 in a billion.
And the only thing I would think is, depending on the clearing and what type of ground cover there is, would that have left any kind of track? I mean, they had canine units in there too that didn't pick up any scent.
That's why I said I'm taking liberties, but I'm just looking at this.
That's the most logical theory that makes sense.
That's kind of where it ties the gunshot, and he's missing, and there's no sign of anything.
He pretty much took everything with him, looking for that animal, fell into some area where the searchers didn't see him.
Yeah, maybe got injured, blacked out, and then succumbed to the elements over the time, unfortunately. That's the only thing that kind of pieces together a lot of the stuff and is very plausible.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what I think.
I like that theory.
If not that, aliens.
Yeah. I do like that theory. Oh, I looked.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking
Are you on my train?
I'm on your train.
All right. Get on the Joe train.
What other theory makes sense?
There you go.
Even your train doesn't make a lot of sense to me because of his mobility issues, but it is the most logical.
That's the only reason I was so if you look on here, I am showing the screen. If you're watching, it's hilly. It's not jagged mountainous. And granted, I'm looking at the 3D of Google Earth, so it could be a little off.
So it is 9,500 feet.
It's high up, but it's relatively flat if you're going downhill.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough uphill climb, especially for someone of his age. But you got gravity working in your favor. Again, an animal's not going to run uphill if it's injured.
Yeah.
So maybe he thinks it went downhill. Granted, he also might have not hit it, so it's going to run wherever the heck it wants.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of holes I can poke in mine in my theory, but it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't this remind you of the Tom Messick case?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Very much.
Because that was another hunter that literally vanished off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And I would say that one's even more mysterious because he was hunting out in New York State, far less remote, and the terrain was far less.
Can we get the coordinates of each one and see if it like does a thing?
Yeah.
Are there vile vortices at each point?
They like triangulate to a vile vortice.
Or something.
You know what I've been watching recently? Monarch.
Yeah.
On
I don't know what that is.
Apple TV. It's a Godzilla show.
Oh,
it's actually really. It's got Kurt Russell in it, and
okay,
it's actually really good.
You're like, it's got Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it's got Kurt.
You got to watch it. Kurt Russell's in it.
But they basically have these.
He escaped from L.A. to do the movie,
right? They basically have these like dimensions that open up around the Earth that connect Earth with the like.
Oh, where Godzilla comes from?
Dimension where the Titans come from. They're called Titans.
So I think that's a plausible thing of what happened here.
Yeah, Monarch.
Monarch.
If anyone listening, it's on Apple TV. It's actually a pretty good show.
Here you go, free promo for a giant television show on Apple TV. Awesome.
Well,
I don't have anything else.
I am completely baffled by this one. Like, truly, I say that sometimes when I'm not that baffled.
Yep. Just for showmanship?
I am truly baffled by this case.
Yes, me too. Well, thanks again for tuning into our show. We appreciate you all for listening and sharing Locations Unknown with your friends and family. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, where you can find the videos of each episode. Also, if you'd like to support the show monetarily, please visit our website or Facebook store to buy some sweet, sweet swag. And additionally, you can subscribe to our Patreon account, YouTube, and Apple subscriptions, where you'll have access to special events and additional shows for paid customers only. Lastly, when enjoying the beauty of nature, whether backpacking, camping, or simply taking a walk, always remember to leave no trace. Thanks, and we will see you all next time.